Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're so welcome. But also, if you're a regular viewer, welcome back. We're going to look today at another aspect of narcissistic abuse in childhood when you have a narcissistic parent. Today, the narcissistic mother, the notorious narcissistic mother, and how she communicates in a non-verbal way, which is deeply impactful, and how this non-verbal communication of the narcissistic mother leads to a fear of communication, especially with other females, in adulthood. So let's jump straight in. Narcissists in general, but more specifically, narcissistic mothers are masters of non-verbal communication. In fact, I think their abuse is largely in this area, the non-verbal part of it, their body language, what they say without using words. I hear many people saying that, narcissists have such a problem with communicating clearly and properly. Well, I wonder, actually. I don't think so. I think they communicate pretty clearly. And that whether they are overt or covert, just their presence is a communication, communication enough sometimes. Okay, so today now we're looking at the non-verbal cues, the non-verbal communication of the narcissistic mother. And, all communication with a narcissistic mother is manipulation. It's important to keep that in mind. All of it is, whether verbal or non-verbal. All communication with her is uncertain. It's always a moment of potential validation, sometimes from her for you, like a love bomb, but it's also a potential for discard or rejection by her. So in childhood, in order to monitor your own thoughts, behaviors, and words, you became hyper alert to her non-verbal cues. Why is this? Well, when you grow up with a narcissistic mother, being alert to her non-verbal cues is the first thing you need to be on the alert for. So you need to be on the alert with all your senses, your eyes, your ears, even picking up on energies. All of these things are on alert to pick up her mood or what sort of mindset she's in. And she doesn't even have to be in the room. She could be in a different room and you're still clocking in to her movements, the noises, and you're trying to interpret them so that you can be prepared. Because it could often be the thing that alerts you and saves you from punishment or rage if you're not listening, if you're not in tune, and you just continue on with what you're doing without being aware of her reactions. So that is key. You've got to be aware of her non-verbal cues so that you can monitor and alter your behaviors or thoughts or words and keep yourself in line and thus safe from potentially just carrying on without considering that. And that could lead to huge issues, rejection, basically. So this non-verbal communication is the first sign that you've said or done something that has annoyed her or pissed her off, excuse my language. And it's her way of telling you to lower your self-esteem immediately, to make your attention focused on her, and to adapt your behavior to something that's pleasing to her, to doubt your own self, and to get back in line where she and her needs are what you need to be focused on. And it's funny with these mothers, they can sometimes have a permanent sort of annoyed look, or like a pissed off look on their faces. It's almost as if there's a bit of a bad smell in the room. That's the look that they might have permanently. And just that look, that permanent look of being a bit peed off is enough to keep children on alert, on eggshells, trying not to make that even more so. So they're kind of tiptoeing around, trying to say the right thing to keep her from really rejecting them. And basically, it keeps you in the CPTSD experience, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And usually it's a bit of a freeze response, I find, in a lot of my clients first. So let's look at some of these cues now. And somebody mentioned in a video recently that they thought I was quite a good actress when it comes to the narcissistic mother. So I'll do my best here. You might hear some resonance with your own experience of a narcissistic mother. So what are these nonverbal cues? Well, here we go. Top of the list, I would say, is the rolling of the eyes. That kind of look. What have I written here? Excuse me. Yes, raising of the eyebrows, like a sort of, I think you are. Look. Facial cues of disgust or insult, like, gosh, that little head shake as well. Fake smiling, like, little verbal noises that are like a fake yes, like uh-huh or uh-huh, but they communicate some kind of displeasure. Using only the eyes to give a look of shock at your audacity, a kind of like not bothering to look at you any longer. So a kind of like, oh, I'm going to look over here, and just not give you any eye contact now and withhold my eye contact from you. It's almost like a silent treatment with the eyes. You're not getting any more nonverbal communication from me now. Then literally using the body, to turn her back on you, to, I don't know, walk away from you even, to get up and move from sitting near you, something like that. Possibly going to talk to others instead of you, laughing with others when you've just had a conversation that's not gone too well, or she's just looked disgusted with you, or you tried to work something out with her and she's taken it personally, sort of, laughing with others, when you're in distress. Almost suggesting that what you've said or what you're feeling is not important at all. But this is a good one as well. You might have friends over, or there might be family friends over, and while no one's looking, she'll give you that death stare. And look, I mean, mothers do that sometimes if a child is literally really playing up and because of the guests. But with the narcissistic mother, it's usually because you're not doing something to glorify her. So she'll give you this, it's really quiet, it goes right through to the heart when nobody's watching, or when she feels that maybe you're getting more attention than her. And this can happen in adulthood as well. I had one client was telling me how she had a friend over, and they all went out for a walk, and they invited the mother along with them. And this client said, I was talking to my friend and we were just discussing, a fun old time. And I said, oh, look, she said, let's take a selfie of us two looking glamorous. And so they took a photo, but while she was taking the photo, which was reminiscent of the previous one, her narcissistic mother was there just giving her the look of death. And my client's friend didn't see this, but of course she was in panic then and trying to appease her mother. And it's all this communication that goes on behind the scenes without words. It's a look of hatred often, actually. And then, of course, we've got slamming around when you're not doing something that is focused on her. She slams around when she's got to do something for you. A lot of the times, maybe it's making dinner, maybe it's she's got to do the washing or something like that. The narcissistic mother will make sounds of, disgust and annoyance because she's got to do these things that she doesn't want to do for somebody else. Another one in adulthood, she might try to compete for eye contact from men over you, especially out in public, just to prove to you that she's more attractive, even though you're younger. She might baby you as an adult, infantilize you in front of others as an adult, just touching up things on your clothing, or giving you a look of pity. That's another one, fake pity. And it's so annoying because it's really a put down in disguise. Okay. So these verbal cues are so important for us as we heal. It's so important to be aware of these. You see, we will more than likely be super sensitive to similar body language cues from people in our lives now, like friends, partners, bosses. We can be very, very alert to body language from others, and find ourselves going into that same freeze response and interpreting everything as a rejection, a potential rejection. So we're still on high alert for the reactions of others, and find ourselves, re-traumatized over and over again. And as a result, many may find themselves isolating or kind of tending to prefer not to spend much time with friends or out in public as a result, as it's exhausting and it's scary, and it means being on alert all the time. And especially because we tend to attract the same types too. And so what we're talking about here today, calling all of this out and all of us becoming more aware of this tendency, is the way forward. On one hand, seeing that other people do use these things as manipulation and control through nonverbal communication gives you your power back. You can simply sort of keep calm as a result and see it as them trying to remedy their own low self-esteem. However, The healing part now is that we must respond differently. Whereas in the past, we would adapt our behavior or shut down or freeze, or apologize or whatever it might be. Now we have to carry on and not take responsibility for how we think others are feeling, or their pissed off look or their disgusted look at us. We have to just almost have an attitude of, well, who cares if they are a bit pissed off? Maybe it's because you're confident, or maybe they think they're better than you. We have to just let them react as they want and not adapt our own behavior. Just like an adult or a parent doesn't give in to the tantrums or crossed arms of their toddler. No, they just let them be, but they carry on with their plans, carry through with them. They don't adjust to the spoiled child's demands for what they want now. But then also to remember, on the other hand, we can be a bit overly assumptive and a bit grandiose as a result of having had a narcissistic mother. What do I mean? Well, we can assume that every look, every feeling, every reaction around us is because of us, which is the grandiosity part. You know, we see ourselves as the cause of things, and we quite simply are not that important. Other people have stuff going on in their own lives, and we need to bring in a new mantra that goes from, in the past, taking everything personally, to now reminding ourselves to stop taking things so personally. And that's helped me in my own journey too. I just remember that I stop taking it so personally. However, that doesn't mean we should couple this with a healthy discernment over time of how somebody responds to us. And that's what, trusting your gut a bit is too. You might just clock the response on the first occasion, but then think, well, don't take it personally. They might have stuff going on in their lives. But then if it's a repeated response, well, then we can take it a bit more personally. I hope that makes sense. Okay, everybody, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Please leave your own experiences of your narcissistic mother, if you had one, and her nonverbal cues. And also how, whether you experience them in your life today. Have you had any struggles with maybe being a bit sensitive and taking things personally on the nonverbal level from others? Okay, have a great weekend and see you soon.